Hey guys, last week before spring break, UAS Hardkill Shadow 5 team. I'm Ethan.
Don.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Azim.
And so I'm pretty sure everybody remembers a little bit about this story. I've been talking week to week, just to kind of put you in the mindset of the user. So if you guys recall last week's story, our MVP is still the same, so I didn't think we needed to reiterate that. So with that being said, let's move forward.
So this week we really tried to focus on getting more information on our MVP. So some of our hypotheses going into the week was that all soldiers have access to the M203 grenade launcher attachment. This was partly due to the fact that we wanted our MVP to be easily accessible. So we were just trying to see if this is something that all of the military has access to. We're still pending. We didn't get in touch with anyone in the military, but we did do some research, and we found that most soldiers do have access to this. We do want to confirm with somebody in the military before we actually approve that hypothesis. Another thing and this hypothesis is more related to our MVP, is related to graphene, and it has the ability to power an electric component. This one we actually did accept. There's a lot of technology right now that's fairly new, like involving graphene batteries, and we currently want to investigate graphene-based batteries like more. We're not sure if it can actually fit on our MVP because of the size of it, so that's something that we're still looking into. And then another hypothesis that we formed was that all the subsystems need to be manufactured from one company. This is a lower priority hypothesis for us. It's just something that we're keeping in mind moving forward, is that this needs to be manufactured and integrated all together and then deployed out to soldiers in the field. So that's that. And then in terms of our customer discovery methods, it's fairly similar to last week. Our big goals this week, or in the upcoming week, is to continue discussing about our MVP to a lot of people that we've already talked to in the past. And then we want to learn more about graphene, as it is a new technology in the industry. And then we haven't had any touch in terms of our vendors, trying to get in touch with the enemy perspective companies. They'll give us a perspective of what the enemy sees when they're flying the drone. And then we're trying to get in touch with manufacturing companies that will ultimately manufacture the bullet and the actual graphene net and the composite. As I said, that was lower priority until we figure out the actual functions of our MVP. And then we want to reconnect with Veris Technology because they provided a lot of information with their MVP.
So we have not changed our mission model canvas because as we've been doing interviews, a lot of similar themes have emerged, and so we feel like we are moving towards not finalizing, but coming towards a more concrete understanding of this. Just to reiterate, because there were some questions from last week, some of our beneficiaries are the upper level management, and what we mean by fiscal responsibility is that by reducing the cost that enemy drones can cost a base, such as reconnaissance would bring in extra costs if they were to harm some equipment. That would be extra cost. So the upper level military management is going to benefit financially. So that was one question that I could clarify for you all. Our customer archetype also has not changed, but this is just one of our several beneficiaries. We have the infantry soldier, which is going to be our primary beneficiary. But we have also developed understandings of other beneficiaries like civilians and other people that will benefit.
All right, so our VPC hasn't changed much from last week. However, we did want to highlight some of the pains, and we wanted to really distill it down because as you can see, our customer jobs, there's a whole lot of them, so we wanted to distill it down to things that were relevant to our problem. So we have here that we don't have current adequate solutions because they're not as effective. So our pain reliever for that is our MVP is going to fit every military grade rifle. It's going to be shot out of the M203, which is an attachment that can fit in any military grade rifle.
So generally how the customer workflow is going to go is that, so we're going to start out with the user, which is going to be pretty much anybody in the infantry with a rifle. And so they're going to, first step is detecting the drone, and then they're going to pretty much analyze the situation. Is this a threat? Is it friendly? Do I need to worry about it or not? And then they make a decision, you know, whether that's a soft kill, a hard kill, or they let it be. Moving on from that, our MVP from the week, it's the same as last week, which is the Judas bullet, is what we named it. And so it's pretty much designed, the bullet, to fit within any M203 standard grenade launcher, which is actually an attachment onto pretty much the military grade model rifle. And so after firing the bullet, what you have to understand is that it goes to a certain height, and then the sensor bullet within inside a larger shell, which is what's fired first, sheds the outer shell and tracks the frequency of the drone until it distributes a net, which is a graphene net, deploys that over the drone to take it down for the hard kill.
So as far as our MVP goes, there are several gains and pains that this addresses. Some benefits to our beneficiaries is that it's lightweight with the small modification to things they already have access to. It's going to be easy for soldiers to carry and access. The graphene is stronger than steel, but a sixth of the weight. So this is going to be really easy to compact into our bullet. It's inexpensive. And with this developing model, we're going to have accuracy with moving targets, which is something that can be very difficult. This will not require extra training for soldiers. They'll be able to use it like they would use any grenade, and it'll be highly accessible. Some of the problems that we see moving forward, some pains, are going to be integrating the sensor inside the bullet. We are identifying which kinds of sensors would be most effective and would be appropriate for such a small modification. Additionally, that leads into knowing when to release the net. So as the net releases, how are we going to know how close it needs to be? And as far as running the math, this is going to take quite an amount of work that might be outside the scope of what we would do this semester, but it is going to take a lot of mathematical calculations. Finally, graphene is going to need to be modified in order to be used. It's going to need to be attached to some sort of polymer, so we would need to explore that. And finally, this would be problematic in certain environmental situations, such as where there would be extreme wind. However, those would be the kinds of situations where drones also would not be appropriate, so and they wouldn't be able to fly well. So it might be an okay problem. All right, nice job, guys.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
For the sensor that's going to be inside the bullet, is it going to be reusable? Like, the sensor is still going to be intact when the bullet lands? Because that play a huge role in the cost.
Good question. We haven't identified a sensor yet, so it would really be hard to say, but I think that would be ideal.
Piggybacking off what she said, that's probably going to be the case because the bullet is not actually hitting the drone; it's just releasing the net. So
I wouldn't worry too much about it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, like, go outside in the grass, take a dime and throw it out in the grass, and then go try to find it. How much time and energy are you going to expend trying to find a sensor that costs $10? How much is your life worth?
Yeah.
Because maybe it's $100, right? So are you going to go out there and walk around and search for that while somebody might be shooting at you? I think not.
So I would say that'd be like the equivalent as, you know, you fire a regular gun and then go trying to pick up the bullets that you fire from that and then
It's going to be small.
Just as a point of reference, the sensors and bullets that track like heat sensitive, the materials on them that they're going to blow up are about $10,000.
Yeah.
So costing.
Yeah.
One thing, and that lets me get my other feedback in. If you go back to your value proposition canvas, I just want to point out again is make sure that your pain relievers, you're really talking about a product feature here. You're not talking about what pain reliever you have, right? So instead of saying it's gonna fit a military-grade rifle, that's a product feature, it's just use available or, use available equipment or accommodate available equipment, or something like that. 'Cause you wanna be general there, specific in your product development.
Go back one more.
Yeah.
One more.
Okay.
Okay.
You mean the opposite direction?
So.
Can I jump in while you're?
I can keep going.
I just wanted to say, I think you guys did a really good job at linking your MVP back to that model, and kind of taking us with you along with your logic and your rationales, and that, I really appreciated it, made it make a lot more sense to me.
Go the other way. So, your mission model, your mission model canvas.
More.
One more. Yeah, I'll just go through them
So you said, one of the things there that I was trying to find was, you said it needed to be manufactured by one.
No, hypothesis.
So go back to the hypothesis.
Okay.
Like, again, and be careful about jumping on things that are essentially irrelevant, right? Like, if I'm a user of this, do I care how many people contributed to the manufacture?
That was something that was interesting, or like our sponsor brought up when we talked to him last Friday. Well, he was more interested in how everything is going to come together, and because like if we're getting
So let them worry about so what they're expressing there is like, I don't believe a bunch of college kids can do this. So who's actually going to do it? That's what he's asking you. So don't worry about it. It's a red herring. Like, don't worry about it. Like, if you can design this thing and it's built by 50, like the Air Force is a master of this. How many people, how many states are involved in building every aircraft that's produced by the United States? I guarantee it's 51. Right? So because it doesn't matter. As long as the product works, he's just saying, I don't believe you guys can actually do this. So let that be a red herring. Got it? Okay. But if this worked, would you buy it? That's what's important. That's what's important. Not who made it, not how it got to him, unless you're having it made by the Iraqis or something, or somebody that's going to actually like sabotage it in the manufacturing process. As long as you give them something and say, hey, try this and it works, they don't care really where it comes from. So don't be sidetracked like that.
Do you all have any backup platforms in case, one, the M203 is too small, or it's not, for whatever reason, they don't want the M203 to deliver the solution?
We are looking at going with an RPG-7.
No.
Basically.
No. The U.S. government does not use RPG-7.
Yeah, something like that, like a bazooka.
No. Hey, all of those RPG-like devices are sealed. So there is no, what they use is called an AT-4, an anti-tank version 4, and it's sealed. It's a one-shot disposable thing. So reconfiguring that may be a possibility, but don't ever suggest you're going to use RPGs. That's like, I got to know, like, the stupid light goes off.
So great job, guys. We believe you can do it.
Thank you.
My two